Hello. Thank you for a few minutes of your time. I'm not going to take too much time because I'm told that I at times get windy. I'm Victor Schneider. I'm currently the mayor of the city of Norwood. It's been my privilege to be your mayor. And it actually is a privilege to be here doing this campaign video once again. It's 4 years that have sort of flown by. But to recap it, and I know some people don't know me. A lot of people say, oh, everybody knows the mayor, but I know there are a lot of people out there that don't really know me and don't really recognize me. But I'm Victor Schneider. I've been involved with the city of Norwood for many, many years. My background is in actually property management, whether that's public or private sector property management. I worked for another municipality just out of high school, and then went through some college classes and worked on building sort of my resume. I went through the police academy. I went through the fire academy and worked as a part-time firefighter for a while. So I've been involved in a lot of different operations and different sides of it. I worked with Public Works. I worked in a Public Works, municipal Public Works department for 6 years. So I've got a little bit of a background in it, in municipal management. In my real role, I'm a property manager for a company that provides management services to multifamily communities as well as condos and HOA communities, working with boards on a regular basis, working with owners on a regular basis in the property management field. I'm married. I've been married for 32 years, 33 years. She'll like that because you throw a little extra in there, but 33 years. And I'm the father of 4 children, 4 adults now who have started on their lives and their careers. I've lived in Norwood since 1972, so I've lived here quite a few years. I grew up in Norwood. I grew up going to the swim pool and to all the different parks that we have, parks and playgrounds. I rode my bike all over Norwood. I delivered newspapers every day after school in Norwood, in the communities that you live in, and the different areas within the city. So I'm pretty familiar with the city of Norwood. I've been involved in the political side of it for many years. I came to work for the city of Norwood years ago and wasn't too up to speed on all the different sides of every question that was out there. And this is more than 20 years ago when I got involved. But I think I've built a good understanding of how sort of the political side works. And I have tried in my time, I have tried to be very impartial to, the sides, and trying to be a person that brings people together. It doesn't really matter what if you're a Democrat or a Republican or independent. I feel like, we're all in this for the greater good of the community. So now I do realize that this is campaign season, and there are sides, and people have to vote, and it's good to have that discussion. It's good to have the dialogue that comes from the 2-party system or the 3-party system, and it's good to have some discussion about topics that are important to the city and what's going on. For me, in the past 4 years, what we have accomplished, I think, is a great deal within the city of Norwood's administration. So as the mayor, one of the first things that you have to do, and it was really a daunting challenge when I actually won my election, and to take over from a mayor that had been in place for so many years, and then sort of looking at the structure that he had in place, and then using sort of my business knowledge on what structure I felt needed to be in place, and then working with city council to put the proper people in place. And of course, in the first few, we were challenged. I mean, I was challenged. I think it was a trial by fire, because within the first year we had, you might recall, we had some civil unrest and we had some riots going on, and we had curfews going on all over in Cincinnati, and we ended up putting a curfew in place for the city of Norwood, first time. I don't think there'd ever been a curfew in the city of Norwood. But we put a curfew in the city of Norwood to control some things that were potentially going to happen. They didn't happen. That's great, and that's how it should be. And then we also went through the trials and tribulations of COVID. And I'm very glad to say that I think our city did extremely well in dealing with the pandemic. Our health department, our public works department, our city services continued on. We had the drive up vaccination clinics for the seniors as we started that, and all of that was coordinated through the administrative office and through the Board of Health. So those were all challenges that we took on, and we did extremely well with. It is sleepless nights when you're going through a pandemic and you think, wow, if this hit our fire department and hit the paramedics and the people who are first responders and the police, what would we do? How would we provide those services? So, but we made it through that, and we're probably we are a much stronger community because of it. There were a lot of changes that occurred because of the pandemic, and it's made us, like I said, a better community. And I think there's better government taking place right now than there has been in years past in the city of Norwood. What have we accomplished? Putting systems, policies, and procedures in place. Trying to put systems and policies and procedures that are sustainable and that sort of even out the cyclical sort of way that the finances have worked for the city of Norwood. So I think we're on the right track. This is a time where we came into it. When I came into it, the city was already in a fiscal emergency by the state auditor's office. We've worked with them. We've got a financial recovery plan that's been passed every time. I've worked with the Financial Recovery Commission as a member of it and working with them to make sure that we're putting things in place for the city to be prosperous in the future years. So those are important parts to it. But also, I think that one of the first things we implemented when I came into the office was that I said, we're going to be a responsive administration. When people call us or when they email us, we are going to respond back to them. We made sure that the email system was up and everybody had information on it. We actually put in place a website. We updated the website and our website was pretty antiquated, but we updated the website and have a much nicer website than we ever had before that has all the information, has a lot of information, and we're constantly improving upon it. We also put in place a phone system that works, and when you call into City Hall, you speak to a person instead of going through the different, nobody wants to call in and say, and it tells you press 1 for this and press 2 for that and press 3. They want to talk to somebody. They want to get direction. They want to be, recognize that they have a concern or complaint. And I think that's something that's important at City Hall because we do work. The citizens at City Hall, the citizen staff at City Hall, a lot of them live in the city, and they also recognize, it's important to hear your voice and to try to work on those challenges. So we also started working on street improvements right away. When I ran, I said we're going to leverage every dollar we can to make sure that we can do as much as possible with the city funds that are there for street improvements, and we've continued to do that. We did a street survey right away, and when we did the street survey, we utilized an engineering firm that was not real familiar with the city of Norwood. Instead of using the engineering firm that has been with the city of Norwood for 20 years and does a great job, we wanted to get an outside perspective on it. And we hired a different engineering firm to come in and do that street survey. They went through, and then we've used that as a guide and really to help us determine what streets should be getting repaved and how we resurface and what level of resurfacing we do. So I think it's worked out very well. The other part to that is we recognized we've got to take the power of public works and really get them moving to help with the problems we have on streets. We've got 60 miles of streets in the city of Norwood, in small city of Norwood, 60 miles of streets. And I won't say they've been neglected for all the last 20 years, but there has not been enough funding in place for them to be taken care of properly. So we took Public Works and we gave them the tools. You can tell a guy at Public Works, go out and take care of the streets, go out and fill potholes, but if you don't give them any hot patch, if you don't give them any of the patch materials or the tools to do the job and to do the job right, there's a problem. So we really grabbed the power of Public Works, and those guys jumped right on it and took care of things. So it it makes a difference, giving the people who work for the city the tools to do the job right. So I think it's been an incredibly productive time over the last 4 years. Of course, we've got great people in Public Works, and we've got a great superintendent of Public Works with Clint Zimmerman. And those guys have really pushed to make sure that the city is taken care of. They're taking care of parks and doing things that are really necessary for us to have a great city. Infrastructure projects, some of the hidden infrastructure projects that you don't hear about, and these are stormwater sewer lines that are collapsing and different things. We recognize those, and we've put efforts to take care of those because we realize that they will grow in magnitude and expense if we're not taking care of those. So that has been some of our major projects. The water system, I'm not sure how much time I had. It says 3 minutes and 40 seconds, but I'll keep going until it gets down to maybe 1 minute, and then we'll stop there. But our water system, we've made major improvements to our City of Norwood water system, the municipal water system that you drink out of every day. We've seen major improvements there, and we continue to make those. I mean, when you have the director of the Ohio EPA come in and really just wanted to have a sit-down discussion with the players in the city of Norwood, the superintendent of Public Works, the safety service director, myself, and others, and say, what's working, and why is it working so well in Norwood? Why are you guys able to make these improvements and move this water system along? So, I really have to pat our crew, our Public Works crew, on the back for moving that forward. Jim Grubb and Clint Zimmerman working hard to make sure those things happen in the whole water department. The firehouse, we've made improvements to the firehouse. We repainted the police department. When everybody else was saying, defund the police, we said, no, we're not defunding the police. Not only are we not defunding, but we're going to give them more training. We're going to work to make our police department even better. We're going to make sure they have the tools to do the job right and to answer the call every time the right way. And it has proven dividends. It's given us dividends already. There have been multiple times where there were questions brought up and you say, did they do it according to the proper procedures and policies? And we're finding out they are doing it right, and it's keeping the city out of trouble. So the police department, we repainted it. We said, look, let's make this a standout police department. And it is a standout. If you look at our fire department, our police department, our city hall, we have beautiful facilities. So City Hall, we've been putting a lot of time and effort into City Hall, making sure it's taken care of. I mean, it's had windows that were in there since, 1919, 1920. So just replacing windows and taking care of the interior of it and clearing out closets. We've had years and years worth of stuff just stored in there. And we're working to reduce the amount of paperwork that is packed in there. I mean, when you have paperwork that's been in there for 60 years, it should have been kept for 10 years and then disposed of, so we've gotten rid of some of that stuff. Parks and playgrounds, big improvements on parks and playgrounds during my tenure. The recreation department, when the YMCA building was being closed down, and they said, well, we have an opportunity to purchase the recreation department, to purchase that and really have it for our recreation building. I was not a big advocate of it. Quite frankly, as the mayor, I was like, that's a lot of work. But we had a couple of council members that were involved in it, and they moved it forward. They pushed it forward. And now we have a great recreation department, not only a great recreation department, but programming that we haven't had in years and years. So we're doing great there. Qualified staff is one of the last things I'll talk about under my administration. We've hired a safety service director that not only has a high level of training in municipal management and experience in HR, but also is a lawyer and does an absolute phenomenal job. Clint, I've talked about, we've got two of the best chiefs in Hamilton County, in my opinion, two of the best. And then community development with Mike Skelly, our project coordinator. These are people that are really doing a stand-up job, and I thank you for giving me the chance to continue on and continue with the city of Norwood and keep going strong. Thank you very much for your time.